Hello everyone, how's it going? In this video, I will talk about relative risk. When reading articles, you might come across relative risk or RR, thinking, what in the world is that? I'll try to explain that in this video. To illustrate relative risk, we will use a somewhat interesting CME from Medscape. Does quitting cold turkey vote better for smokers? This CME goes through a study carried out by Nicola Linson-Hawley and colleagues. The study was to compare which is better for smoking cessation, quitting abruptly or gradually. This study is important so we know whether a smoker should be advised to quit abruptly or gradually if the person decides to quit smoking. The researchers assigned 700 smokers into two groups. One is the abrupt cessation group, the other one is gradual cessation group. Both groups received behavioral support from nurses as well as nicotine replacement. At week 4, the result shows 39.2% of gradual cessation participants were abstinent compared to 49% of the abrupt cessation group. Now, how do we interpret these two numbers? 39.2 versus 49%. This is where we use relative risk. So in order to calculate relative risk, we just use one number divided by the other number. We divide 39.2 by 49 and the result is 0.8 as seen here. So a relative risk of 0.8, what does that mean? First of all, we look at the relative risk, whether it is greater than 1 or is it less than 1. So 0.8 is less than 1, meaning the first group has less chance. Formally, we say participants in gradual cessation group had 0.8 times the chance or risk to be abstinent at week 4 compared to participants in abrupt cessation group. That's quite mouthful. To interpret that more easily, we can say the gradual cessation group had 20% less risk or chance to be abstinent compared to abrupt cessation group, and we get 20% from 1 minus 0.8, and that equals to 20%. See if you have grasped the idea. So we'll do it again, but this time at 6 months. Naturally, the abstinence rate will be lower at 6 months. So this time is 15.5% in gradual cessation group that were abstinent compared to 22% of participants in abrupt cessation group who were abstinent. In a similar fashion, to calculate relative risk, we divide 15.5 by 22 and we get 0.7. Hence, the relative risk is 0.7. So a relative risk of 0.7 means the participants in gradual cessation group had 0.7 times the chance or risk to be abstinent at month 6 compared to participants in abrupt cessation group. Or we use 1 minus 0.7, we got 30%, and we say gradual cessation group had 30% less risk or chance to be abstinent compared to abrupt cessation group. And that's it. It is not very difficult, is it? But of course, we must also look at the confidence interval of relative risk and see whether or not it has crossed 1. If it does, it means it's not significant. The result is not significant. But in this case, yes, both of the results are significant because the confidence interval did not exceed 1. Now you might also remember somewhere about relative risk reduction and number needed to treat. Whilst they are not very helpful in explaining the results of this study, let's look at them mathematically. To calculate RRR, remember it used minus, it has the word reduction, so naturally it will be minus. At 4th week, 49 minus 39.2 equals to 9.8. So the RRR is 9.8. To calculate NNT, we use 1 over 9.8%, we get 10.2. And I'll talk about relative risk reduction and number needed to treat in another video. And that's all for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. See you in the next one.